Hey guys, Money in the Bank 2019 went down tonight, and as with most Money in the Bank pay-per-views, WWE uses the show as a potential launching point for future storylines that build to SummerSlam. So was this show used in a similar fashion? Let's take a look and see. First match was on the kickoff show. It was a tag team match between the SmackDown tag team champs, Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan, taking on the Raw tag team of the Usos. It was an okay match. I know sometimes the Usos, and when you have talent like Daniel Bryan, in the same ring, they couldn't produce a show-stealing performance. This was not a show-stealing performance by either team. Just a solid, okay match, something you'd see on either Raw or SmackDown. In the end, the Usos get the win here. WWE is really building up the Usos. They're like the main focal point on Raw. It looks like now they're a main focal point on SmackDown since they beat the tag team champs. And thanks to this wild card rule, I guess they can appear on both shows now. Which, in my opinion, just end the brand split. It's stupid. There's no point to it. And the wildcard rule is just further emphasizing that there's no point to this brand extension. Anyway, the Usos, they beat Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan, so I guess now they're #1 contenders for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. We'll just have to wait and see at this point. After that, it was the official Money in the Bank show kicking off with the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Naomi taking on Carmella versus Nikki Cross versus Mandy Rose versus Ember Moon versus Dana Brooke versus Natalya versus Bayley. This was a really good match, a fun match. A lot of cool spots, good way to open up the show. Basically, every woman in this match got a chance to shine, and in the end, it looked like Mandy Rose was going to get an assist from Sonya Deville to win the match for herself. Not the case. Bayley climbs up the ladder, pushes both Deville and Mandy Rose off of it, grabs the briefcase. She is Miss Money in the Bank 2019. Wouldn't have that title for long though. After that, it was the United States Championship match. Rey Mysterio taking on Samoa Joe for the United States title. And like the WrestleMania match, this was another short match with Mysterio coming out on top. He reversed Samoa Joe and into a Hurricane Rana pin-up position and got the pin on Samoa Joe despite Joe's shoulder blatantly being off the mat. I don't know if this was a botch on the rest part. Is something they're going to do to further the storyline between them. Either way, Rey Mysterio wins the United States Champion in like 3 minutes. He is now a Grand Slam champ, and then after the match, his son came down the ring. They're celebrating. Samoa Joe blindsides Rey Mysterio, beats the crap out of Mysterio, and is taunting Mysterio's son Dominic to get into the ring. Dominic does not. Samoa Joe later leaves. Dominic helps Rey get back to the backstage area. And yeah, so that was the match. Basically a 3-minute match, a 5-minute post-match beatdown. Looks like Dominic's going to be a very centerpiece, focal point of the storyline between Rey and Samoa Joe, and now Rey has the United States Championship belt. After that, it was The Miz versus Shane McMahon in a steel cage match. This was a very entertaining match. It looked like Shane was finally going to get his brains beaten in and let Miz get the win. There was a 6 spot where Shane was dangling from the top of the cage, half in, half out, and Miz just pulled him down. Looked like Shane could land on his neck. Thankfully, he did not. And then there's another part where Miz countered a coast-to-coast into a figure-4 leg lock on Shane McMahon. Overall, this was an okay match, but in the end, Shane wins again. So Miz was trying to superplex Shane off the top of the cage, a la the WrestleMania 35 match when he did it off that scaffold structure. But Shane kind of slips out of his shirt and falls to the outside of the ring to get the win. So yeah, Shane escapes. Miz still has not beaten Shane McMahon. Looks like there's going to be another match between these two guys. Hopefully one to settle it once and for all. I don't know if it's going to be at the WWE Super Showdown or if they're going to save it for another American WWE pay-per-view. We'll have to wait and see what they do there. But either way, it looks like this rivalry is not over as Shane McMahon got the win tonight. After that was a Cruiserweight Championship match. Tony Nese versus Daivari. This was a solid match. 205 Live has some of the best athletes in WWE on that roster. It's just a shame it's on WWE Network because not that many eyes get put onto that product. So the crowd wasn't really into it, but Nese and Daivari had a very solid wrestling match. Lots of good action here. In the end, Nese further cementing his legacy as the premier athlete, as a Cruiserweight champion. He beats Daivari here. I think Nese is going to move on to another talent on 205 Live roster. I think Daivari was more maybe a test run character to see how Nese does on his first pay-per-view title defense. Although I wouldn't mind seeing Daivari get thrown back into the action with Tony Nese. Kind of like this new character that Daivari has, like a high roller type of dude, drove up into the ring in a Mercedes. So who knows what they're going to do here, but in the end, Tony Nese got the win. After that, it was the Raw Women's Championship match, Lacey Evans versus Becky Lynch. This was an okay match. Evans, for weeks, had been tormenting Lynch. Lynch finally got her revenge here. She makes Evans submit. Evans had a roll-up on Becky Lynch for like a 4 count. I don't know what was going on with the officiating tonight, but Lynch was actually rolled up for like 4 seconds. Ref was like looking at one shoulder, then went around, looked at another shoulder. This allowed Lynch to counter into a disarmer, makes Lacey Evans submit. And so Lynch retains her Raw Championships, heading back to the backstage area. Then Charlotte Flair's music hits. Looks like the SmackDown Women's Championship match is happening right now. So Flair versus Lynch, pretty even throughout. I predicted before this that Lynch was going to have both their matches back to back, and then Bayley was going to cash in. So during the match, Lacey Evans hits Lynch behind the referee's back. This allows Flair to capitalize. Flair pins Lynch, wins the SmackDown Women's Championship. This obviously upsets Lynch. She was cheap shot by Lacey Evans, so she goes out, starts wailing on Lacey Evans. Flair goes out and helps Lacey Evans. So both of them are then beaten up on Becky Lynch. Bayley hits the ring, saves Lynch, and then she realizes, oh, Flair is laying on the mat. So she decides to cash her Money in the Bank briefcase right then and there. She pins Flair and is now the SmackDown Women's Champion. So it went from Lynch to Bayley, or it went from Lynch to Flair to Bayley. 3 of the 4 horsewomen had the SmackDown Women's Championship in one night. Kind of reminiscent of how the Shield, all 3 members of those guys, had the WWE Championship in one night at Money in the Bank 2016. So while Lynch is your Raw Women's Champion, Bayley is now your SmackDown Women's Champion. And looks like a matchup or program with Charlotte Flair is on the horizon, and Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans appears to be continuing after this event. The next match, if you can really call it a match, was Roman Reigns versus Elias. So Reigns walked to the ring. Elias smacks him in the back with a guitar. Guitar just explodes in a million pieces. Then Elias struts to the ring, plays a song, and he looks at the guitar. That was pretty funny. Insults Hartford for losing the Whalers hockey team, which gave me a good laugh. And then he's walking back to the ring. Roman Reigns appears. Or he's walking back to the backstage area. Roman Reigns appears, hits him with a Superman punch, throws him in the ring, spears him. Match starts. That's the end of it. 1, 2, 3. Reigns wins. So yeah, Elias. Well, it was entertaining. It really wasn't much of a match. It was just Elias beating up Reigns with the guitar, singing, and Reigns getting his revenge in the end. So I do not think this rivalry is over. I would very much expect to see Reigns versus Elias continue. Maybe Vince McMahon gets involved, as he has been on the SmackDown television program the last couple weeks. After that, we had the Universal Championship match, AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins. This was, in my opinion, the match of the night. Stole the show. Fantastic. If you're going to watch a single wrestling match from this show, watch this match. Rollins and Styles brought their A games. Their styles meshed very well together. Lots of action, lots of cool spots. In the end, Rollins gets the win. He hits Styles with a curb stomp. While Rollins celebrating, Styles hits the ring again. Looks like he's going to deck Seth Rollins on the face. Instead, they shake hands. So, I mean, they're kind of teasing AJ Styles heel turn maybe a little bit. So we'll have to wait and see where that goes. But this is a fantastic match. And, I mean, it's pretty obvious they're going to do another rematch. Hopefully that rematch can top what these two guys did at Money in the Bank, because it was phenomenal. No pun intended. Seth Rollins is still your Universal Champion. After that, we had an appearance from the Lucha House Party. I didn't know if they were having a match or what, but then they came out. We were talking, cutting a promo in the ring. Lars Sullivan comes out, destroys them, leaves. Lars Sullivan actually busted his head open, so he was bleeding while he was destroying Lucha House Party, which made for a very fitting image to go with his character. And they're still building up Lars Sullivan, although they need to give him like a real big-time opponent, because so far he's just been beaten down on jobbers and these minor wrestling stars. After that, it was the WWE Championship match, Kevin Owens versus Kofi Kingston. This is a good match. Not as good as the Universal Championship match, but still a very good match. In the end, Kofi Kingston got the win with a barefooted Trouble in Paradise. For some reason, Kofi Kingston Kevin Owens took off Kofi Kingston's shoes, threw him to the outside, and while he was doing that, I guess this gave Kofi enough time to recover, because Kofi was pretty much being dominated by Kevin Owens seemingly throughout the match. But when Owens took off his shoes, this gave Kofi enough time to recover. His Trouble in Paradise pins Kevin Owens for the win. 1, 2, 3. He's still your WWE Champion. Not a great match, but a good match. Very entertaining. And yeah, Kofi's still your WWE Champ. I expect this rivalry to continue, because it was just like a weird ending to see Kofi do that with no shoes on. And then finally we had the men's Money in the Bank ladder match: Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor versus Ricochet versus Andrade versus Mustafa Ali versus Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. Sami Zayn was supposed to be in this match after he took Braun Strowman's spot. Strowman came in and then somehow hung Sami Zayn by his feet backstage, and that made Sami Zayn have to go to the hospital. Really weird. Strowman's banned from the arena. Zayn's spot is empty. And yeah, so instead of 8 guys, we get 7 guys. Brutal match. Lots of cool spots. I would say this was in the running to be the match of the night until the end. Brock Lesnar comes from out of nowhere. There's no announcement of him being inserted into this match. The referee wasn't made aware of it. The crowd wasn't made aware of it. Apparently the wrestlers weren't aware of it. He comes in, pretty much just walks in the ring, climbs the ladder, grabs a briefcase, match over. Yeah. So WWE's hopping back on that Brock Lesnar train again, which sucks. Not a fan of that ending. I was reading Twitter after. I couldn't find anybody who was a fan of that ending. Thought we were done with Brock Lesnar after Seth Rollins dethroned him at WrestleMania 35. Apparently that's not the case. So Brock is now Mr. Money in the Bank. Hopefully he loses that contract when he cashes it in, because I just do not want to see him with the belt again. It's very tiring. It's very sickening. It's just so repetitive and stale. And WWE just, I don't know, there's a broken record at this point. If Brock doesn't have the belt, he's going to have the Money in the Bank briefcase. So yeah. Kind of a bad note to end on with Money in the Bank. A fantastic Money in the Bank ladder match ends on a very sour note with Brock Lesnar winning the briefcase. Yeah, so the only way we'll see what happens with that is by tuning in to Raw tomorrow. And that's all I got for you. Money in the Bank 2019 in a nutshell. Watch the women's match. Watch the WWE Championship match. Watch the Universal Championship match. Watch the men's Money in the Bank ladder match until the ending. That's all I got for you. If you like this video, feel free to give a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, check out my website, cincyfanzone.blogspot.com. Give me a follow on Twitter at Cincy Fan Zone. Give me a follow on Instagram at Cincy Fan Zone. Links to all that is in the description below. As always, guys, thanks for watching.